Hey, what's going on, guys? So I think I have some explaining to do today. So I recently made a video talking about selling my gold, and there's a bunch of details that revolves around why I got the gold, why I sold it, the price, all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to make a kind of part two to that and give you a lot more details to better understand things. This was prompted by a comment. Someone basically made a comment, or it was a couple people who made comments about how this is why stacking is a waste of time. You bought gold for one price, you sold it for the same price. That's nor here or there, and I will talk about that in a second. But the other comment that got me, wanting to make this video and explain this further was someone was basically saying that my information was contradictory, or didn't make sense. I forget how they put it, what terms they use, but they're basically saying, like, I talked about inflation and how the price of gold stays the same. But the dollar loses value, but for some reason I bought it and sold it for the same price. So how does that work? That's contradictory information, right? Shouldn't I have made money on it? So I want to get into the details here. So I don't have the Buffalo in front of me. So this is the visual aid for this video. This is a gold quarter that I found in a coin hunt 2 days ago. I was hunting through some quarters. I found some interesting things, a couple errors. I found a Darryl Strawberry painted quarter from Dunkin' Donuts from 2006, something completely random. It was some, marketing thing. I found some cool stuff, but this is one of those things. Once in a blue moon, I will find a gold coin. This is gold plated. This is a 2000 Virginia State quarter. So what happens is these companies, they'll take things like this and they'll plate it in gold, and it's probably real gold. It's, plated, but it's so thin, it really doesn't have any significant value at all. It's a 25-cent coin. Maybe it's worth 27 cents because of the gold. I don't know. But it's just kind of fun. It's definitely fun that it's gold plated. So this is probably in plastic, and someone broke it out and just used it at the store and, got into circulation, and now I have it. But this is the little visual aid. So like I said, at least you have something to stare at that's kind of gold, since it's somewhat related. All right, so let's give a zoom on that. All right, so where do I start? First of all, the idea of stacking, right? I kind of touched upon this in the other video, but a lot of people buy gold and silver to hopefully sell it for more one day and make profit, right? That's one reason why people buy precious metals. Another reason I think that's more important is the store of wealth, which I talked about in the first video. The idea that you're just saving money, right? If you pay all your bills and you have a little extra, what most people, I shouldn't say most, but what a lot of people do is they just spend it. Right? If you have extra money, you go to the bar, you go out to dinner with the family, you go to the movies, you take a little vacation, you do stuff. You spend your money. You have, either you buy products that you enjoy, collectibles or fun things, or maybe you upgrade your car or who knows what, or you have experiences. That's how people spend their money. It's called entertainment, right? What entertains you in between eating and crapping and going to work and sleeping? Paying for a Hulu subscription or buying a new knife, or taking a ride down and getting ice cream with your kids. Whatever it is that you do, you spend money outside of your bills, right? What stackers do is they try to spend some money on precious metals because they want to store their wealth, right? It's just a savings account, right? So what's more common than stacking is just having a savings account. Hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people probably have a savings account with some money in it. It might be 10 bucks, it might be 10,000, it might be $1 million, who knows? But the people who are lucky enough, or what's the word? I don't want to say responsible, but I want to say, what's the word I want here? Either you're lucky enough or focused. No, there's probably a better word to use here. Disciplined enough. That's a good one. If you're disciplined enough to pay all your bills and then any extra save, to try to build up a large amount to maybe make a larger purchase, maybe buy a house, buy a new car, something for your retirement, your future, your kids, whatever. So if you're lucky enough or disciplined enough to actually have money in a savings account, you're saving, right? Now, how stackers see that is a waste, because let's say you have $35,000 in your bank account. That is just losing money. Whatever interest the bank offered you, which is laughable at this point, even 20 years ago was laughable, whatever interest they're giving you on that money, you're losing it tenfold or 100-fold to inflation. The inflationary rate is supposed to be 2% a year. So 2% of your bills, your money, is supposed to be lost in buying power every year. Now that's ideal. Clearly, it's way above that, right? This year, it might be 17% of your money is worthless, you know? So that's how inflation works. Now, a lot of people know that. Now, what I was trying to explain in the other video, or the first video, was the fact that if you're sitting on gold or silver, the money you invested in that is staying consistent. You're not losing that money. So if you paid $2,000 for a gold coin 5 years ago, that $2,000, or that gold coin will get you more than $2,000 today. It's not really because it's worth more, it's really because the dollars are worth less. And I guess at the end of the day, it's somewhat relevant because if you purchased gold and silver 10 years ago and you spend a certain amount of money on it, the cost of living's higher. So you're paying more for milk and more for bread and more for gasoline and everything else. Now the whole thing is that things aren't really getting more expensive with time. It's just your dollar is worth less. But people don't see it that way. When you hear someone old say, "Oh, I remember when, gas was 15 cents a gallon and you could buy a brand new car for $1,100. It's not because things were cheaper in 1930 or 1950. It's because the dollar was more powerful. That's how it works. All right, so now that I got that out of the way, that most people who buy precious metals are actually fighting inflation. They're storing their extra money in shiny metals instead of shiny buildings. Okay, that's all that is. Now here's a second point to be made here, is that when I bought the gold, I actually sold it for more than it was worth. The problem was that I bought it with a credit card. So I had to factor in the money lost to the credit card fee, which was 4%, as well as the premium because it was a buffalo and not just some generic gold piece that was 1 ounce of gold. So why in the world would I buy it with a credit card? That's crazy, Jeff. You don't buy precious metals with credit cards. No, you don't. Normally you don't. And I would not recommend it. All right, let's look at the other side here since we've been staring at that this whole time. So here's the deal. And I don't know why I didn't really just say this in the first video, because it wasn't the focus. That's why. I was trying to focus on the fact that I saved money in the way of gold and then needed the money. Now I could have sold other things, but the reason that I sold that gold piece is because I was planning on selling the gold piece. I had got a new line of credit. And the reason I got the new line of credit is because there was a sign-on incentive bonus for $900. So that means that this company gave me $900 for free if I used $3,000 worth of credit within 90 days. And on top of that, it was 12 months interest-free. So my plan was, because I had to pay off debt, I had to pay off bills and things like that, why not get a free $900? So I opened this line of credit. I bought 2 gold buffaloes at the coin shop, which totaled like $4,000-ish. And I got the $900, right? Now I have $4,000 worth of debt on this credit card. But there's no interest for a year. So I have a year to basically sell both of these off and pay off the card. So that's why I bought them. Now the first one, I wanted to break even with the credit card fee and like I said, the premium on the coin. And by the way, it was interesting because at the time, this particular coin shop, they focus a little bit more on, metal weight and content. So like it was the exact same price for a buffalo as it was an American Eagle. And the buffaloes that she had were 2 2017s, which like I said, had a lower mintage, the second lowest mintage of the whole series. So I thought that was cool. It had a little extra value in there from a collector's standpoint. It wasn't just an ounce of gold. But yeah, so that's why I sold it for $2,100, because I bought it for $2,100. It was actually a couple dollars back of that. So technically I made like, I don't know, a couple bucks. But if I didn't have to use a credit card, I would have made like $100. That's a big deal. So I would have made, if I bought it with cash, I would have made a profit in a very short term, by the way, because I only held on to it for about a month and a half or so, not even. But I also made $900 with the sign-on bonus. So I did make a profit from the gold. I just didn't bring any of that up because it would have muddled my message. It would have made it way confusing for just the average viewer. Like, wait, hold on, what's going on? And then, so I'm telling you now, just to explain it for anyone who is interested in that. So there was profit to be made. That's why I did it in the first place. Now, my ultimate goal was to figure something out, hoping something would change, and that I would be able to actually keep the gold. because I am a stacker and I'm obsessed with shiny metals. So once I got it in my hand, I didn't want to sell it. I tried to figure out a couple different things I can do, but the fact is that gold and silver is just more liquid than anything I have. It was a lot easier to sell that than to sell, you know, $2,000 worth of knives or Zippos. It's just, you know, it's incredibly difficult with those larger amounts of money, but precious metals, they're extremely liquid, and that's just more proof of it, right? So yeah, so now the other one that I still have, I probably will have to sell, definitely within like 10 more months before I have to pay interest on this card, which I refuse to. If there's any other way that I can not have to sell, that'd be great. If I can sell other things and get that money and just pay off the card, that'd be awesome. But if I don't, then I'm sitting on it. Now the idea is I'm watching the gold market, as I do anyway. If gold keeps spiking, which it dipped back down and now it's going back up towards 2,000. By the time I post this video, who knows, it might be 2,000. But if I can get into the green again, there's a possibility I can even make a profit even after paying the premium on the coin and the interest from the credit card purchase. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But if gold keeps going down, 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 you know, I might lose a couple bucks on it. You never know. You do take a gamble. Now, this is because it's short term. Long term, I think it's extremely stable, and it does go up, both gold and silver and platinum and palladium with time. Palladium is way all over the place, by the way. Now, if you don't know, platinum is over 30 times more rare than gold. So why is gold worth more than platinum? I don't know. Politics, paper stocks, the elite, who knows? But anyway, I do think platinum is underrated for sure. So back to my point here. I bought that gold to sell it. I was hoping I didn't have to. I'd figure something else out. But when gold started going back up again, I wanted to at least break even on the one coin to get rid of half that debt. And now half the debt is gone off the card. And like I said, I have about 10 months or so to pay off the rest of it. And with any luck, I can keep the Buffalo. But if I can't figure anything else out, I will sell it. And that's the whole point. So precious metals did make me profit. Precious metals are liquid. It's just super, super easy to sell them everywhere. There's a million places. Now, if you live in a city, you know, 1 out of every 10 shops has to have a sign, you know, we buy gold. Now, they're ripping you off, of course. They're giving you way less than the actual value. But if you look at it at the point where, okay, I bought gold 15 years ago and it was half the price, you could still get ripped off and make a huge profit. You know what I'm saying? So when the time comes where you need to actually sell it, I would absolutely try to get the most money, you know, you can out of it. Look online, try to sell to a collector, sell to another stacker. If that's not a possibility, sell to a big bullion dealer. Their offers are usually pretty fair for the market. And if you don't want to do that, and you want to sell it locally, sell to a coin shop. You know, and then the very bottom of the barrel would be a pawn shop or we buy gold place, something like that. That's the very last place I would ever sell precious metals. But guess what? They're still buying it, and in many places, 24 hours a day. They are there for your desperation, but they will always be buying it. That's the whole point, right? It is extremely easy to sell. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to like sell the idea of stacking to people. I like you guys. That's why I tell you, I share all my hobbies. I think it's a fantastic idea. However, the more people who stack, the higher the price gets. And I don't want the price to be high. I want the price to be as cheap as possible so I can keep getting more of it. I would love if gold dropped down to $100 an ounce. I would load up. I would sell everything I have to buy gold, knowing it's going to go back up. Same thing with silver, right? And now, right now, I happen to be looking to sell gold, so it is what it is. I'm not unhappy when the price goes up. But, you know, when it's high, you don't want to buy any, so it makes it hard to stack. When it's low, you don't want to sell any, but it's easy to stack, right? That makes sense. But what I'm saying here is that there's not enough gold and silver to go around. It's something like less than 20% of the world has any kind of precious metals, and a huge part of that is jewelry. You know, there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of women who might have a gold necklace and a gold ring, but they don't have gold coins or bullion. You know what I mean? Same thing with silver. So it's probably more like 1% or less of the world actually are stackers. And if it doubled, if just the interest doubled, right? So 40% of people in America, 40% of people in the world, just all of a sudden society's going bad and they wanted to buy it, it wouldn't be there. It's not even close to double. There's just not enough. So, you know, the less people, the better, in my opinion. But, you know, like I said, I make these videos to share what's going on in my life and my hobbies and my interests and stuff and what I think are good ideas. But you don't have to listen to me. It's mostly just entertainment. I'm just talking. That's all. I'm talking to anyone who's looking to listen. But I'm not trying to sell the idea. I don't care if you buy gold or silver at all. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. So anyway, hopefully that helped you understand the situation a little bit better. I still love precious metals. I still want to stack as much as I can, but stack responsibly. Do not buy precious metals on credit cards unless you have the money to pay it off immediately and you're going to get a sign-on bonus. So put it this way. If I wanted to, I could have got the $900 profit from just buying those 2 buffaloes. I could have went down the street, sold them that same day, a couple minutes later, for a slight loss because I would lose my credit card fee completely, and I'd probably lose the premium completely. But let's say I did. I bought it for like $4,200 or something like that, and I went down the street. I could have sold both of them that same moment for probably, I don't know, $3,900, $4,000, something like that. But because of the $900 bonus, I would have paid off the card immediately and still made a bunch of money. But I chose not to do that. I chose to get the bonus. I used the bonus already for bills. I sold the 1 gold coin, and I'm hoping that I can keep the other. I can figure out the rest. But I'm just saying that particular case is amazing. And if you have the opportunity to do something like that, that may not be a bad idea if you have enough discipline and control to not use that card. Unfortunately, most people who have credit cards, they use the credit when they can't afford things, and they're sitting on them, they're paying interest, and you're wasting money, right? That's why the whole country's in debt. So there you go. Hopefully that whole thing makes a little bit more sense now. Like I said, I could take a slight loss buying and selling about 10 minutes later, but still made hundreds of dollars. That would have been probably the easier way to do it, but like I said, I have a little bit of hope that I can come up with money some other way and maybe be able to keep it, because I would love to add it to my collection. Also keep in mind that most credit card incentives for individuals are much less. This was a line of business credit. All right, so just, I know someone's going to be like, well, how'd you get a $900? Well, because it was a business line of credit. For individuals, a lot of times you'll see something more along the lines of, we'll give you $200 or we'll give you $300 as a sign-up bonus if you spend $1,000 within 90 days. That's a more realistic for just an individual credit card. All right, the last thing I do want to mention before I go is capital gains taxes. Mostly because someone commented like, oh, I hope you paid your capital gains tax on that. So here's the thing. If you buy precious metals and you sell them for a profit, you do have to pay taxes on the profit. That is considered income. But I didn't make a profit, so I don't have to pay taxes on that. I broke even. If you lose money, same deal. You do not have to pay taxes on that. Now, I will tell you that I play it straight across the board. I do not mess with the IRS. As crooked as they are and as ridiculous as things are, the last thing I need in my life, or anyone needs really, is Uncle Sam, trying to find them and saying that you owe money, right? So that's just bad news. I would never mess around with tax stuff. So I do everything by the book. Years ago, when I sold a lot of silver and actually got into my first house on my own, I did pay taxes on that profit for sure. And if I sell this second gold buffalo for a profit, which I hope to do, I have no problem claiming that on my taxes as well. So my CPA knows all about that stuff. Anyway, that is it. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.